Hey Lando, good to see you here. And going into this weekend, I don't know if it feels any different or now that you're top of the standings.
Nope, exactly the same.
But what are you hoping for or expecting this weekend? Things to play out?
I mean, that's two very different things, hoping and expecting. Of course, I hope to have another weekend like Mexico, which will be tricky, just because it's good competition. But I mean, I would say I expect also to be strong, to have another good weekend. But you never know, just with the weather and the conditions here, it's easy for it to go anyone's way.
Hi Oscar, lovely to see you here in Brazil. Just to pick up one thing that you mentioned at the end of Mexico, you're saying you have to drive the car a bit differently in recent weekends. Going into this weekend, I don't know if there's been progress made on feeling a bit more at one with the car or whether you expect it to maybe still be an issue this weekend.
It's difficult to know. I mean, it's not really been a change in the car that's been something to get our heads around. The car's not really changed in terms of new parts to it or new setups for a few months now. So I think we've got a much better understanding of what differences there were in the last couple of weekends and what I needed to change, what I needed to adapt. So I think I've got a much better idea of kind of what I'm looking for now. There's always the question of whether I'll need to use that or not, but I think I'm much more confident that I've got those tools available to me rather than kind of relying on what's worked for the majority of the season.
At the different venues, you can see how the fans are buying in to the way you're finishing the season. There's a lot of people really wanting to see you win. Are you appreciating that? And are you still driving with as much fun as you were a few events ago?
Yeah, I mean, we just try to do everything we can till the end. I mean, it's 36 points. It's still a decent gap. I think over the last few rounds we have done a very good job as a team. But of course, if we want to close that down further, we need to be ahead constantly now, and that will be, I think, a big challenge. But we'll see. I mean, I'm just excited to be here, and hopefully it will be a good weekend for us.
With these final races underway, are you feeling you can fight on almost equal terms with the championship contenders? And I think I know the answer to this. Do you race any differently as we get really close to that title being decided with them?
Well, I'd like to think we've got an opportunity or two between now and the end of the season to get a win under our belt. I think Vegas is obviously a race that we'd probably pinpoint as being a race where we'll be competitive. And then I still race everybody the same. There's no reason to race anybody differently. Probably going into Abu Dhabi, to be fair, if there is a title on the line, if you're not going for the win, you may think twice about something. But until then, it's every man for himself.
We come here neutral, just like we've approached the last few races. I think it's important for us to not get carried away by the positive results we've had in Mexico and Austin. We know that it was thanks to perfect execution from the Friday to the Sunday, and that's extremely difficult to do, and probably even more so when conditions are so difficult to predict, like it's always the case here in Brazil. So we'll just focus on the job, just like we've done. It paid off in the last 2 weekends. I really hope it does this weekend, but we have no guarantee, and we know that we don't have the pace of McLaren or Red Bull. Mercedes can be very strong in some weekends, some others less. But that doesn't depend on us. So we just have to focus on what we do best, and then we'll see how it goes.
Coming back to Brazil feels like a home race for you. Should we expect hammer time here?
Hammer time? Yep. I've not heard that word for a while. I'd like to think so. That's the goal. That's what I'm training towards. That's what I'm working towards. So I'm hoping this weekend can be another step from what we've been working on in the past races. And so, and I think hopefully with the support of Brazil, hopefully I can do a good job from this weekend.
Hi Kimmy, good to see you here in Brazil. Such a historic track. How are you looking forward to getting out there, driving around it, and what are you kind of hoping for from this weekend?
Yeah, really looking forward. It looks a very fun track to drive. So, obviously it's going to be a special weekend as well. And really looking forward to it. Hopefully, we can get up to speed very quickly. Obviously, sprint weekend, and we can, get a good result, which is important as well for the team and for the constructor.
You had some epic laps in the wet here last year, but then it didn't entirely go to plan at the end. If we get wet conditions again this year, would you alter your approach, or would you take the same risks?
I had. It was going, as you said, it was going great until it wasn't, and got caught out. It's an interesting track here. There's a lot of rivers. Last year was very bumpy. It will be interesting to see with the track resurface how much that's gone away. And the tarmac's a little bit strange. So, I think realistically I would have done the same. Actually, don't want to go back a whole year, but we found some issues that contributed to that crash. But I like it. I prefer this track in the wet than in the dry. I think it's got a really nice kind of different lines you can do. I think Max has proved that in many years here. It's a nice one to race as well. Just the visibility can be a bit tough, but yeah.
What are you thinking for this weekend? Sprint format back in play, but also the potential for some rain as well.
Yeah, I think in Sao Paulo there's always a storm around somewhere and some rain. It depends how the car feels here tomorrow, and we'll only know that after a couple of laps from practice. I expect again a tight midfield battle. It's a short lap, so usually that makes the whole field even more dense and very compact. But we'll try to be obviously on the right side of it.
There are several teams within 12 points of where you guys are at the moment. What's the feeling inside Racing Bulls about that?
But the momentum is definitely against us at the moment. But good thing is we're still 6th, and we believe we can turn things around and keep pushing and keep our 6th place.
It's about keeping 6th rather than maybe getting 5th from Williams.
I don't think we can. I just don't think we can.
All right. Well,
6th is good.
Fernando, good to see you. An unfortunate end to your race last time out in Mexico, but how confident are you of being back in the mix here this weekend? A lot of points finishes around that one, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, optimistic always on Thursdays. I prefer to be positive. On the weekend, Brazil has been always good track, for overtaking and providing a good show and offering opportunities for the midfield teams and things like that. So we know that it's a sprint weekend, which normally we can take advantage as well. We will give it all.
What's the secret? What's maybe the Mexico method that you can apply to this weekend and the rest of the season?
Yeah, of course it was a good weekend, but I think we have to be realistic in saying that's not... I don't think we're going to come to the next 4 races and expect to be fighting in the top 4, top 5. It was, of course, a lucky result to have things played out as they did. But we also had really good pace, particularly in the race on Sunday in Mexico, and that can definitely be transferred forward. But our goal definitely for the next 4 races is to be fighting in the points.
The performance has dropped away a little bit. Do you and the team understand where the pace has gone?
I think there's just some tracks where the car comes alive. The last few events, it's been more challenging for us. Just haven't been as competitive. No one stands still in this sport. I think other teams have brought upgrades and improved throughout the course of the year.
So Liam, very good to see you back at Interlagos, a track you enjoyed last year, in the top 10 pretty much all weekend. Good memories of this place?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. I think we felt like we missed out a little bit on the race, but I think that's just because we started so high up. It was overall a good weekend. We had points in the race. We had a strong qualifying. We nearly had points in the sprint as well. So I think overall in the dry and the wet, we had a good car. So hopefully we can try and repeat something similar this weekend.
Yeah, you touched on it there. Excited for similar opportunities ahead this weekend. Sprint format again, and as always here, chance of rain.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously what we get, we'll have to deal with as it comes. But I think the ingredients are there for hopefully a strong car and a good weekend.
The car's maybe not going to be finishing double points every weekend, but at least have you found something from Mexico?
Yeah, we did. I think it was a very good weekend. Obviously, it's a very unique layout in Mexico with the altitude and the way
there is that many slow corners. But this will be a very good test to see where we are exactly. This update that we've put on the car has definitely made a big difference to our performance. I can't wait to see what this car is capable of doing, but definitely we are pushing, we are improving, and we have a very exciting challenge ahead with the Constructor Championship. So it's, definitely good.
Hi Yuki, good to see you here. I think you were speaking after Mexico and you were saying you kind of threw points away at the end of that race, but bearing that in mind and going into this weekend, does it at least give you hope that you're in that ballpark? And of course you qualified third here, if I'm not mistaken, last year as well. Does it give you hope going into this weekend?
Yeah, it's getting there, the confidence, everything from this car. Previous race in Mexico, definitely I would have been the points if everything went smooth, but it's part of the motorsports and the racing and can happen. I'm just happy that how the race week went through. So just trying to keep this trend and even more in this race, especially sprint qualifying races. I try my best to score points both races, and like you said, I had good memory last year, especially in a wet condition. Let's see how it goes this weekend, but pretty good confidence.
Do you think the car is going to be more competitive here at Interlagos?
I don't think so, but I mean, we well aware in the situation we are in. I think nonetheless we still give it our best every single weekend, and as Charles touched on earlier, this is the type of track where the weather can come into play. We've seen pretty wild races around here, so we know we definitely seem to have taken a step back in terms of performance, and we've seen cars like AS, for example, bringing upgrades even in Austin when we stopped developing the car like months ago. But it's okay. We know we have another 4 race weekends where we'll try, and then after we'll be on to a different project.
It's hard to judge the rookie season. How do you rate yours, and who is the best rookie for you without looking at the standing?
It's just too hard, the rookie, as you said, because I think we all have different cars, and there's some guys that have better, worse, and it will always be like this. The only way to judge your season is basically looking at your teammate and performances you had. So if I look at myself, I'm very proud of the season I've been having. It has been very positive. We came from a very tough start of season with the car and everything, and then we brought some good upgrades, put us in the points. Q3, I think I was there 4 or 5 times, something like this. So I'm quite happy, to be honest, with my season. I think it has been pretty decent. And about the best rookie, I think each of us is going to say us. So I would say me, Isaac will say him, and life goes on.
A bit of a tough run for the team recently, but a new chance here with the sprint format and potential for rain as well. How are you feeling about your chances this weekend, and plenty of support from back home in Argentina as well?
Yeah, excited. I think, as a team, it's a track that has been very good for Alpine last year, and I think especially for me to be back here in Brazil. Last year I couldn't really enjoy the weekend as much as I wanted, but to have so much support here from my fans and from people from Argentina is very special. So it's a track that, since the start of the year I was not a racing driver, and if there was something I dreamt of is be back here in Brazil racing, and it happened. So I'm very happy to be here, and hopefully we can have a good weekend. Let's see.